So in this session, we're going to talk about democratizing app distribution in finance. Today, the end user's environment is really composed of multiple applications, and often those applications are delivered by multiple vendors, and they need to all work together. So the need for a different type of distribution is more needed than ever. And that's what we're going to talk with our panelists here tonight. So just to start, though, I'd like to ask each of the panelists to introduce themselves and say a little bit about what their product does and how it's used by end users. And Mahmood, we can start with you, and please just introduce yourself as well.
Yes, hi. My name is Mahmood Noorani. I am CEO and co-founder of a company called Quant Insight. We are a data analytics company. The vision that drives us is that investing is increasingly going to become about analysis of data. And what we have done is built a big, what we call a market brain in the cloud that ingests large amounts of data about GDP, inflation, monetary policy expectations, stress in China, EM vol, energy prices, and so on. And it does a lot of work with various algos running to deliver to investors some insights around what's really driving markets, where the risks are, and where the opportunities are.
Terrific. Ganesh?
I'm Ganesh Iyer. I'm the Chief Marketing and Strategy Officer for IPC. We operate one of the world's largest financial ecosystems and cloud-enabled communities. We have over 200,000 traders using our platform, as well as 7,000 connected market participant locations. And through the power of large numbers, what that does is our 7,000 locations, if everyone was able to connect to everyone else, that's 25 million potential connectivity opportunities. And the 200,000 traders, they can have 20 billion possible interactions. And we have our trading communication solutions that's used by over 200,000 traders, as well as a managed network as a service that delivers applications to end users and consumers through our cloud solutions. And these applications could be trade lifecycle services, market data, because we have connectivity into exchanges, as well as different types of trade lifecycle services and software vendors. So we're all about connecting buyers and sellers in the financial markets together.
That's Ganesh. Elliot?
Hi, I'm Elliot Banks. I'm Chief Product Officer at BMLL. So at BMLL, we take enormous amounts of historical level 3 data. That's every single message that's come from an exchange, whether it's a cancellation, an insert, a correction. We take all that data over multiple years of history, over multiple venues, and make it consistent over time and across venues. And then on top of that, we build different analytics products to allow you to query and get the most valuable insights from that deep analytical data.
That's Elliot. And last but not least, Chris?
Everyone, I wish I was there, especially given how close you are to cocktails and networking. I'm the CEO and founder of BondCliQ. What BondCliQ is we are a centralized pricing service that's organizing all the bids and offers for corporate bonds in the US market, and we plan on expanding further. So the level 3 data that was just being discussed, we're trying to make that data possible in OTC markets like US corporate bonds.
Excellent. And Chris, why don't we stick with you, and we'll go back the other way. So first question is, when it comes to workflow, what are some of the challenges that you see in the BondCliQ business, and how your end users use your product?
Well, I think one thing that we all have to accept, especially if we're looking at OTC capital markets that have been dominated by a terminal system, and I think we all would agree that many fixed income markets fall under that category, is that the workflow that the end users are used to is very compartmentalized and is not generous when it comes to bringing in third-party applications or allowing sort of seamless integration with existing core applications, proprietary applications. And what we're finding with our the world that we're in, which is a world in which we're just trying to provide real-time pricing data to the marketplace, is that if that data is not provided within the context of the current technology ecosystem of the end user, you're almost dead on arrival. And so I was really pleased to be invited to this panel, because I think that distribution is something that we really don't talk about when it comes to the effectiveness of data and analytics. data doesn't mean anything unless you are able to be a part of someone's decision-making process while they're about to make the decision, and that comes straight down to, are you on the desktop and are you a part of their current ecosystem?
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, it used to be, is my icon on the end user's desktop, and now that's just, it's not nearly enough. Elliot, what are some of the challenges that you guys see at BMLL?
No, I mean, I'd agree with a lot of what Chris says. I think it's about having data analytics information across different applications, pulling in different data from different sources to be able to use that with granular insight. It gives you that ability to make it easy to actually understand the problem.
And Ganesh, you guys sit in a really interesting spot, right? You're a really big platform connecting, lots and lots of folks, buy side and sell side, as you said. And so that makes you guys uniquely positioned to distribute content for others as well as like your own content. Can you just talk about like how you guys think about that and maybe some of the things you're doing to help with distribution?
Yeah, I also want to echo some of the sentiments expressed by Chris and Elliot about organic data sharing across multiple applications and platforms. And that's something that our clients have asked for, that the markets ask for. For example, we do a lot of voice trading and voice communication. So that is pretty much the last frontier of unstructured data. And that data is not captured very effectively. So what we have done is structured and digitized that data through our natural language processing and artificial intelligence engines. And we have combined it with other sources of data, be it chats and provide traders with insights. So the whole idea is to bring together data from disparate sources, just like Elliot just said, and provide insights to the end user and empower them. And working with the OpenFin platform, which offers technological flexibility as well as interoperability, we have been able to create an app store-like environment that's powered by OpenFin to help applications organically share data. Also, applications that are developed by IPC and applications that are developed by our clients, they can share data. Our cloud platform that delivers applications that can be displayed on our terminal or on a laptop or on a mobile phone, all powered by the OpenFin operating system. And also, any application that's on OpenFin, that's OpenFin enabled, we have been looking to integrate those applications with our trading communications, the IPC-powered workflows, so that we can just bring this data together and offer insights to our customers. So it's a lot of what Chris and Elliot just said. I mean, we're facing similar challenges, and we're taking advantage of the opportunities that these challenges have created for enabling our clients.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. In the consumer space, you've got just a couple app stores that matter, that everybody uses. Within our space, the idea of there being one single app store in many ways doesn't really make sense. And definitely what we're seeing is that platforms like yours have lots and lots of users, a specific audience, actually become great distribution vehicles for content from others, like the other folks on this panel, and that really the ability for them to curate the apps that make sense for their platform and to brand and to have engagement with their end users becomes really critical and uniquely puts you in a position to provide the exact kind of distribution that these guys are looking for. Mahmood, what's your experience been with this?
Well, the business objective that we all have is we want to become essential. And the thing is that nothing is born essential on day one. You become essential over time. Now, we spent several years trying to become essential the hard way, which was having a destination web platform with yet another username and password. Figured out that the average front office user has around 40 different systems. Huge amount of effort to try and get people to go there. And then once they go there, they have to look at your analytics and see if there's something interesting. And what we have done in the last couple of years that's really paying dividends is we've realized that if you want to become essential, you have to be embedded in somebody's existing workflow. And so what we did is we moved very much to a push notifications approach. And we also realized that what people really care about is, well, what's changed? Don't give me static data that if I look at it now or I look at it tomorrow, it's roughly the same. That's just wasting my time. And just on the issue of time, we did quite a bit of research on our users and hired a third-party firm to spend dozens of hours with front office portfolio managers, and the headline conclusion was the one thing your users don't have is time. So we started taking this cloud-based brain and streaming notifications. We started off integrating with Slack. And so what a user can do is say, I care about these instruments. Out of 6,000 instruments, S&P 500 stocks and sectors, fine. That's what the bot is going to track for you. And if something significant happens, you will get a notification in Slack. And the nice thing about that is you get it on your phone. And actually this week we announced a partnership with Symphony. So we're now streaming those notifications through Symphony. And so for us, we're finding that if we want to become essential, we simply have to be in front of people. We have to be embedded in the workflow. You want things to be timely. People care about what's changed. Go to notifications. And so that's really been our experience and journey, and we're really focusing on that going forward.
Yeah, that's great. And that was a great segue to my next question, which you've already answered.
Well, I was just going to say, this is why we're excited about the notification center.
Oh, yeah.
OpenFin. Forgot that bit, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's great. Ganesh, Mahmood talked about notifications as one of the techniques to kind of create that engagement and the embedding. What are some of the things that you guys do?
Yeah, so I found that very interesting. The push notifications and proactively informing people of important things that are happening in the market or what's meaningful to them, it's something we're working on. So an example, we're working with a partner that takes data from over 200 sources and provides audio feeds to traders. And those audio feeds are coming through our terminal. And it's relevant audio feeds. So if there's audio feeds for fixed income, for metals, for commodities and equities. And you could have a multi-asset class audio feed as an example too. So, and that is more of a push notification as opposed to, let's say you're a trader and you know when the non-farm payrolls are going to be announced at 8:30 in the morning. Everyone's watching Bloomberg TV to react to that. But there might be news that comes into the audio feed that you weren't expecting and that wasn't priced in. Example, yesterday I was at this partner's office in the city, and there was news about Russia and Ukraine, and suddenly the euro strengthened against the dollar, and because it was positive news, and basically that affects all asset classes. It can affect interest rates, it can affect gas prices because Russia is a petro giant, and it can also affect the indices. So there's this push notifications concept to us. It's really important because you're giving traders information that they need at the right time, what's relevant to them. And as Mahmood also said, they have 40 applications, what you just said, right? They have so much to deal with.
Right.
You want to give them relevant information because they don't have the patience. Right. And once you lose them, you've lost them. So that's one example of that came to mind when Mahmood was talking.
Yeah, that's great. Elliot, what about you?
I think for us, it's the interoperability of different applications. And actually, me and Ganesh were talking before we came on about brainstorming different ideas between us. And the fact is, 2, 3, 4 years ago, if we'd wanted to do that, that's writing to each other APIs, it's difficult, it's slow, it's time consuming. Now it's, well, we've got FTC-free enabled applications. We've got easy ways to do that context sharing, to share that information between different applications. And suddenly the ability to quickly and easily get our embedded level 3 analytics, our sort of deep insight, combining it with other applications in an easy way, makes it very, very quick to scale out. And that's some of the things that we're looking to do by making some of our visual applications sort of FTC compatible, making that easy so someone can click on something and quickly say, okay, I'm looking at this stock, historically what's gone on, where is the best venue to route, what's the actual probability my order's actually going to get filled there. And that's the sort of thing that OpenFin enables us really easily to do.
That's great. And Chris, anything to add on this one? Techniques that you use to embed and distribute?
Yeah, well, I think really the context sharing is what we're focused on for right now, and our approach, because we're working with end users who have been used to a terminal that has just totally different dynamics than what's possible from what's being described by my fellow panelists. We're really sensitive to start simple. So context sharing that we've relied on is just when a portfolio manager or when a sell-side trader clicks on a bond, either in their inventory or in their order blotter, it just immediately brings up our window that has the available pricing in that bond, and that's where we start. But I think that there's something else this starts to open the door to, and I'm hoping to transition into this part of the conversation, Mazy, which is I think right now we're discussing interoperability at basically in phase one. And phase one interoperability is being able to pull up something like BondCliQ while you're using XYZ order management system. But where our vision is for where this is going is that it's actually interoperability between vendors once something has been invoked. And so, Ganesh and I have been talking about adding a workflow to what we've done at BondCliQ, where if a buy-side person clicks on an item in their blotter and then the window comes up with the prices, well, what's the next thing that they want to do? They want to trade. So they could click on a dealer, and now we're making it technically possible for them to start a conversation through IPC using interoperability techniques that start with context sharing, but then go into moving from seeing the price to actually engaging someone who's making the price. And I think that that's really where this world is going, where the workflow is all sort of supported by the technology that OpenFin is bringing into the marketplace.
That's great.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
so with the embedding of the workflows, Chris and I, we're working on that. At the moment, someone wants to engage, they have different engagement models and different options. So if a trader sees somebody they want to talk to, they just click in the BondCliQ application, and then that'll generate a conversation that they can have with the counterparty. And the counterparty, it's device agnostic. They can pick up the call in any, it doesn't have to be an IPC tool, it can be any way. So it really starts getting to the next level, as Chris just said. It's embedded into the workflow, making the trader and the user more productive.
Yeah, that's great. And so we've now moved into the lightning round. 15 seconds each on a couple things to expect from you next year in 2022. We'll start with Mahmood.
Yep, so with the theme of becoming essential, one way you become essential is by making your service interactive. So you can go into the message bar on Symphony today and ask a question to this cloud-based brain, and it'll give you an answer. And next year, we're going to be adding some tracking functions, so you can go in and say, track Apple stock. Anything significant happens to Apple, it'll tell you. It becomes your virtual analyst.
Fantastic. Ganesh?
We are really embracing the whole concept of the subscription economy, and we're providing the traders a better experience. And it's not about selling products or units, but really the overall trader experience and developing deeper relationships with them through these the interoperability and the technological flexibility we offer. And I want to just give a couple of analogies. I know my 15 seconds are up, but it's like if an automobile company is not selling cars, but they're selling mobility. If you're selling lawnmowers, you're not selling lawnmowers, but you're selling landscaping services. Same way, we're not just selling communications, we are selling the whole trader experience and developing that relationship with them through all of this application sharing, data sharing, and so on.
Yep, that's super powerful. Elliot?
Yeah, so I think for us it's going to be FTC-free enabled applications, allowing you to access years of history across level 3 data in equities, futures, and ETFs.
Excellent. And Chris?
Just broader distribution. And what's at top of my mind right now is we had a great call with a top 25 asset manager yesterday who said, we're using OpenFin and we're trying to make everything that we have internally and externally interoperable, so will you test with us? So I'm having more conversations that look and sound like that. And so I just see us being able to leverage the technology that's already in place, but more and more users are starting to actually use it as a way to create the holistic desktop of the future.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. Please join me in thanking the panelists.